If you would give your name and address, please.
I'm Charles Goodman. I live at 403 Woodlawn Drive. Although I don't actually live in the city of Mount Juliet, I still consider myself a citizen. I love the city. I've lived here since 1949. As a long-time resident of the city, I've seen many changes in our city, some good and some not so good. I've seen some of the best and most devoted people get elected to public office and serve in a very humble yet dedicated manner with the best interest of Mount Juliet in their heart. I believe that this sitting Board of Commissioners are of that caliber people. But I am beginning to see just a little bit, the last meeting I watched on TV, beginning to see a little bit of what the gentleman, two people ahead of me said, the old, some of the old commissioners, not old in age, but in several times ago, that sat here and could hardly carry on a meeting because they were at one another's throats all the time. And I feel that we could disagree without being disagreeable, and that certainly that we should not resort to verbal disagreement, attacks, and without being just outright rude to the other members of the board. Please remember that your constituents chose you because they believed in you and your ability to do your job in an effective manner. So I just encourage you to just be good to one another and show courtesy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you would give your name and address, please.
Yes, I will. My name is Sharon Lister, and my address is 1504 Foxhaven Court. I have already really voiced my opinion in the form of a letter to the editor of both the Lebanon Democrat and the Wilson Post, but I did have a few additional comments that I wish to make here tonight. First of all, to all of the commissioners, I appreciate your desire to be thorough. I believe Mayor Elam and Attorney Flowers also appreciate that. I, however, have no appreciation for the perception that I personally had when I left a meeting a week ago in these chambers. And that was an attitude that was demonstrated that I thought was totally out of line. It was one of being personal attacks against individuals and their integrity. Mayor Elam, Attorney Flowers, I compliment you for the very high professional manner in which you conducted yourselves at that meeting last week. Tonight's meeting obviously is going to raise some concerns, and obviously there will be some actions taken from it. And I would urge all of you to very seriously consider the concerns that will be voiced and the actions that will be taken and base them on facts. And I would hope that you would not be influenced by issues concerning other personalities here at City Hall. I would ask you to give a swift resolution to this matter so that all of us can put it behind us, so that you can move on to the very important business that as elected officials you are trusted to carry out. Thank you.
If you would give your name and address, please.
Yes, I'm Philip Blanchard. I live at 1621 Eagle Trace Drive. I heard that I could ask a question of the commissioners. Which one of you did I elect? Thank you. Nice to meet you. I ask your prayers tonight also for our troops that are serving, especially for my son, Sergeant Benjamin Blanchard, who leaves next week for his second tour of duty in Iraq, a proud American. My name is Dr. Philip Blanchard. I have a PhD in psychology, and I'm in private practice as a psychotherapist here in Mount Juliet and Wilson County. but I'm also a retired Episcopal priest. And I've got to say that last week's city council meeting put me into a time warp in my brain. It could have been any of many church meetings that I had chaired over the years that I was a priest in active duty. People confused between what should be and what they wish it would be or had been and what it really is. 7 years ago, about 7 years ago, they had just finished 840 between here and Murfreesboro. And the speed limit at that time was 55 miles an hour. And that same then teenage son, Benjamin, thought he should have been 70 miles an hour. And so he drove it as though it was 70 miles an hour, and he was stopped on the first day that he drove it. And he got a ticket. It became 70 miles an hour shortly after that, but not soon enough to rescue him from the fine that he had to pay and the many years of insurance elevated costs that he had to face. He earned that ticket. He'd gone 70 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. And you know, when they changed the speed limit, they didn't offer to refund 1 penny to our son because he behaved under the old rules. And the rules had changed to the new rules, and he wasn't entitled to the grace of the new rules. He had to live under the old. Last month I heard council members and citizen comments that wanted to apply new rules to old behaviors. Mayor Elam was alleged to have displayed before the new rules were adopted, rules that wouldn't be allowed after the rules were adopted after you've done your work as a council. I don't believe it was certain that the behaviors that were alleged were ever displayed. But it is certain that the rule forbidding the behavior had not yet been adopted by you, the council members. It is easy to understand why my son wasn't entitled to a refund. And it's just as easy to understand why, even if you had done what was alleged, because you hadn't made your rules in a timely manner.
Doctor, if I could get you to wrap up.
There existed no rule to break. I ask you not to act as those old churches that are not the body of Christ, but to act like a body of politic ready to do the will and obey the laws and enforce the rules. Thank you.
If you would give your name and address, please.
Okay, yes. My name is Gary Rabideau, and I live at 1401 Colony Court East. I wanted to come tonight and talk to you about the acceptance of the attorney's report, the ethics report against Mayor Elam. I believe that it should be accepted, and we should move on with city business. And just a few things I wanted to mention. I've known Mayor Elam now for several years, and a few descriptive phrases maybe: integrity, honesty, reliability, concern, intelligence, trust. Certainly service is part of her makeup. She's ethical, and I really believe that this professional commission needs to move forward and to accept that report. You're elected by the city of Mount Juliet to carry on with city business, and I think at this point in time anything else other than that is a diversion from that. I think that some of this matter turns out to be what I would consider bad blood, sour grapes, and some politics. And I think at this point in time that's something that needs to be put aside and move forward as far as the concerns and things that the city needs to take care of. So just wanted to stand up here and mention that I feel that Mayor Elam has a tough job. She has made some tough decisions. I think the testimony we had just a few minutes ago by the lady who was originally stepped forward speaks volumes, and some things needed to be taken care of. If this was a business, those things would have been taken care of and things would have moved along. But in this particular form, forum and becomes public and become politics. And I would like to see the politics removed from this if at all possible.